So if there is this program by these so-called greys who are interested in their subjects in terms of mind connection, of downloading all the information of what emotions are like, what feelings are like, aging, taste, color, they've been devoid of that. And I wondered, because I had a article published back in 1996 called Spirits in the Material World, on whether or not these greys had counseled themselves out of creation, found a species that can reproduce, and they hope that in some way this could be their salvation. This could be their step towards rebuilding or restructuring themselves through the incarnation, through a reincarnation program, incarnation process. To afford them their right passage back to the divine. I don't know. That was the first idea. I have many ideas that I've been working on in terms of that, and that would also kind of like bring into the fray that how they're able to come through walls and doors, how they're able to abduct someone, and also take into account the lack of memory that the individual has when they're abducted. It could also be possible that these beings are creating a new genus because we as the human species are just about to wipe ourselves out. And whether or not this new genus will be able to exist beyond another known universe, that's another idea. Because you have all these people telling you how it is. But
Hmm.
if we go back to your question about Aleister Crowley, about Lamb. Now, what's interesting is Thoth, the Egyptian deity that was supposedly came into our world through, self-replication. We're beginning to find out now, interestingly, that matter can be created through light. This has been experimented on within nuclear fusion, this type of research that's going ahead. And this calls into question, how did we begin? How did we evolve? Did we just bring ourselves into being here? What are we part of? And I think perhaps with these greys, they are interested in something. And the reason that we consider that their operations are, hidden, most people say, oh, there's this code of contact, universal code of contact. Rubbish. They've broken that already if they've integrated with us. But why the
Prime
secrecy?
directive that everybody talks about.
Yeah, yeah. Why the secrecy? Why do they keep themselves within the shadows? Why have they got this agenda that they keep coming in? Now, another great author that you might want to check out, who's written a book called Out of Time, Steve Aspin. He's here in England. He believes that these greys are interested in some type of intergenerational program. And he's had experiences with the greys. Steve Aspin, a wonderful guy. And we're all trying to put the pieces together about, they come in, they go out. And you'll also find that the reason behind their connection with humans is quite strange because they kind of like don't want to be known. They don't want to advance us. They're not giving anything to us where we are able to advance as a species or indeed the individual. All they do, the greys do, is lie half the time. But Thoth, going back to the Egyptian deity, and I'm sure you've heard of the emerald
Tablets, yeah.
tablets of Thoth, yeah.
Hmm.
And of course, this whole thing about them being found in the pyramids of Cheops or Giza Plateau in 1925, and of course the esoterical parts of this stone or the tablets, as it were, that was never discovered, but the literature of which, is in terms of hieroglyphs, has been deciphered, is quite interesting. And he is supposed to be the creator of the universe, the egg, and we hear about this all the time. This egg, as if something's in its primary stages of development before its embryonic formation into matter. So you'll find, Michael, that when you start looking into this area, symbology, also the dark arts, the mind consciousness, it, I think, plays a major element in all of this. So I believe that when we go back to when Baroness Thatcher said to Georgina Bruni here in England, UFOs, first of all, you have to get your facts right. And when you do, that's when you'll find we can't tell the people, is because the system we serve will have a lot of explaining to do. And I think there'll be a lot of frightened folk out there who are and have been programmed to a basic level of living. And this is the problem, about the whole level of this inquiry. So it's not just one simple avenue that your good self, will go down. You will find that there are other multiple avenues that start to connect, and you may feel like you're losing the plot with some of it. But then eventually, like most things, when you have and you find there are certain key components or connections to be found with regards to one subject matter to the other, you're like, hang on just a minute. You're like your own private detective. You're like, hang on just a minute. What is this? And you'll be able to determine what you feel is truth and what you feel is complete fabrication within your analysis of the way that you see reality. So yes, it does kind of like get in here. And I will tell you, in my early years, I had to take a break from it because it was just too overwhelming. I thought I was going to go over the edge here, and unfortunately, I don't know of them, but I knew of, because one of them was in touch with me, another author who was involved with UFO research, but also the darker side that unfortunately met a very untimely passing, because I think it got into his head too much. So you have to be very careful when you're dealing with this subject matter and kind of like take it within your own pace. But certainly when it happens to you, it changes everything. And there is a fear factor connected with it. Yes. Most definitely, there is this fear. And that was demonstrated magnificently. The last viewing of 3 massive circular objects on the 9th of April 2016 here, with me and my twin brother, that was witnessed by many other people and filmed by my niece. It's a long story, but again, you're left, okay, so you're there, you've descended, you're right above us. Why? What is this? What do you want? And you get nothing.